ರಾಹುಲ್ ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಆಗ ಈ ಕಿವಿ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ
ಹಾಕೊಂಡೆ ಅದೇನು ಬಿ ವಿ ಎಸ್ ಮೂರ್ತಿ. Hi, dear friends, welcome to the third and the final webinar on first steps into smart farming. Last two sessions, we had covered dynamics of farming and getting ready for the event and selection of the agricultural land and infrastructures and selection of the right crops and multi-cropping patterns. This session is of two sessions, a break in between for 5 to 10 minutes. In the first session, we'll discuss about financial management, capital requirements, and few do's and don'ts. And second session of today's, we'll highlight on little cash flows and value additions and what we can think beyond once you are reached that stage. Regarding financial matters, it is very, very difficult to set a standard pattern for everyone and give you a perfect idea. But because there are two variants in this, which varies individual to individual and land to land. That's the reason I'll give you a broad outline. This you will have to make it tailor-made to suit your individual needs. Each individual person is different in many ways in their mental makeup, in their savings on hand, their salary patterns, or flexibility of the income they can generate, and all financial aspects. And equally so with the lands. you will be looking for a plain land without anything, a barren land or half done land, or a once good maintained but now it is abandoned, or a scenario where it's well maintained good plantation or agricultural land, and proximities to the town. All these variables make it very difficult to give you an exact pattern of financial skeleton. But I'll give you a general idea so that, as I said, you can match with your situations. For all practical purposes, today we are taking 10 acres as a standard parameter. If it is more or less, it depends, but 10 acres we are taking here as a standard parameter. One or two points before I come exactly into the financial aspects. To buy a land, the capital investment to buy the land, I feel at least 70% of the capital investment should be from your savings. So you will have to wait for few years of your initial years to save money, or even if you have some assets like sites or anything, it's no problem selling them and making some money, whatever it is. So you will have to make 70% capital to buy the land from your own savings, and 30% probably you can take as loans. And again, it depends on your profession and income generation. If you are very confident, you can start early, but you can repay it immediately. And after purchasing, normally everybody thinks once the land is purchased, job is done. No, only half the job is done. 50% of the financial requirements is to buy the land. I would say rest 50% of the financial and management aspects after purchasing the land. After purchasing the land, from nearly first year to 8th year, you have to keep on investing to the land without much income. So you need to have lots and loads of patience and sustainability. That is the reason I was stressing all the time. It's a parallel profession. So each and every individual will have 8 to 10 years of golden income period in everybody's life. So those initial golden period, you should invest in this farming. After 8th or 9th year, nothing will stop you. After purchasing the land, for the development of the land, you can go in for agricultural development loans. It's a long drawn and yearly payment, and you can start repaying the loans from the 8th year, and it will have a simple interest. Again, it depends on the profession you are in. For example, doctors, dentists, or small businessmen, the income they can flex by working extra hours if the need arises, and they can pump in the initial years to the farm. The problem comes with the fixed salaried persons. Probably they have to plan better. And one more thing, since these doctors, dentists, and businessmen get everyday payments, these farm expenditures mostly are weekly based. So every week you are paying it in installments. Believe me, this will be the best forced income for you as well. Otherwise, best forced investment. Sorry, best forced investment, because otherwise you would have spent that money elsewhere. But once again, I'm stressing you, don't neglect your primary profession. That is very, very important, very crucial in the initial 8 or 9 years. When I started farming, lots of my good friends with good faith discouraged me. They said, you're going to spoil your practice and all, etc. Then one day I sat and thought about it. I came to a conclusion, two things if you are sticking on to. First is be on time to your profession. That is to my dentist, whichever profession you belong to. Be there on time. And second, update perfectly in your own profession. If you can do these two, I feel there is no reason you can go wrong. Okay. So last session, I gave you an idea of the crops, what we are planning. So before that, let us discuss normal net incomes from different crops around this in this area. This is as per the current market prices. For example, paddy. You grow paddy with their supervisor. That's in 2 crops per year. You will get a net income of around 30,000 rupees per year per acre. Other one is banana. Here I have put it as an intercrop because in our scenario, in our planning, I have put banana, papaya, and cocoa as intercrops. So it is between 25 and 30,000 rupees per acre. If you grow these 3 exclusively, probably it will double. That's around 60,000 rupees per acre. That's per year. That's a net income. Again, coconut, if you grow as a full garden, full-fledged, you'll get around 35,000 per year per acre. But in our scenario, I have put it as around the borders. For 10 acres, probably you will get between 2 and 2.5 lakhs per 10 acres. And vanilla as an intercrop, you would be able to get around 1 lakh per year per acre. Rubber exclusively, if you grow, you will get around 35,000 rupees per acre. Now the rubber prices have slashed down. It's around 115 to 120 per kilo, which used to be around 210. So coffee, again, the gross income would be around 75,000 rupees, but the expenses are so high, net income would be around 30 to 35,000 rupees per year per acre. Dear friends, note here, arecanut is one of the best. Here you get around 2 to 2.5 lakhs per acre if you grow it only exclusively arecanut. And pepper as an intercrop, you would get between 1.5 and 2.5 lakhs per acre per year. So this is the reason we have chosen a combination of crops. Here I have put it as multi-crop. I am discussing only the income part here, and after a while I will be talking about the expenses as well. In the first 3 years, we'll be having arecanut, agarwood, coconut in the border, and intercropped with banana or papaya. So you will get an income of around 30,000 rupees per year per acre. That's around, for 10 acres, it's around 3 lakhs per year. First 3 years, it will be like this. And from 4th year, we are changing the intercrop from banana papaya to coffee, pepper, and vanilla. And from 4th year, it really dips down to 0. it's only expenses and expenses. Your income will be zero for next till 8th year. Dear friends, this is the time you should have lots and loads of patience. Your passion is determined here. So you need to be very patient and you look after it for next till the 8th year. Here again, your income pushing like from other sources becomes very, very important. From 8th year onwards, actual income starts coming. On the 8th year, probably you would get around 1.5 lakhs per acre, that's around 15 lakhs. And 9th year onwards, definitely you believe me, it will be around 4 to 5 lakhs an acre per year, that's around 40 to 50 lakhs from 9th year onwards. So from here onwards, you will be the king. Nobody will stop you. And added to all this, once in 15 years, you will get a good income from agarwood, because agarwood you can cut once in 15 years. That's around 7 to lakhs per 8 lakhs per acre. That's around 80 lakhs once in 15 years, apart from your 40 to 50 lakhs per acre. Okay, this is lots of money we are talking about. Let us have a small discussion about farm management. It's for a few minutes. It's very, very important. We are talking about a parallel profession. You are not there in the farm physically all the time. But I would insist that initial 2-3 years, you will have to go to your farm at least 2 days in the weekdays, and you have to spend both Saturday, Sunday, weekends in the farm. It's a must. To look after all this, you need to have a supervisor. He represents you in the farm. He is appointed by you, a supervisor. I remember in his book, Warren Buffett writes, whenever he opens a company, his only job is to search for a very good CEO and give him the proper SOPs. That's all his job is. The company runs. I fully agree with him, because choosing the right person as a supervisor is a crucial, very, very crucial event. So you will have to take a lot of pains to search. You interview many, you sack many, you do whatever. Ultimately, you have to find one very efficient and reasonably honest. I won't say you will get the gold. Reasonably honest person. He should be very efficient. But once you selected him, look after him well, take him into confidence, look after him like your right hand. That's very, very important, because he is going to implement what is planned and what is in your mind on the ground. And second thing is cash management. During all these years, this slow but steady cash flows. So all this management is very important. I would suggest never involve anybody in this. You do it yourself, because every weekends you are there. So make all the farm payment, labor payments by yourself. Don't give it to the supervisor and come. No, you'll be spoiling him. So there are hardly 4 to 6 people. So it's very easy to disperse. So you handle the cash, you make the payment in person, so that you will get acquainted with your workers well. and it will not be pilferish. Second is during the initial years, land preparation, fencing, irrigations, all these you negotiate with the concerned people and you make the payment yourself. Never make it through your supervisor. His job is just implementing the work efficiently, what is prescribed by you. That's all. So all the cash managements, everything mostly have to be handled by you. And one more thing is maintaining a diary. You keep a diary in the farm, let the supervisor write every happening on that day, every days in the diary, including how many workers, male workers, female workers, what's the work done on that day, and what has come into the farm that day, what has gone out from the farm, all the events, all whether small or big, everything has to be written by him. And every weekend, you will have to see that and sign it. Very important, one more is accounts. You don't have to have a big accountant to do all these things. You keep a simple account book, write yourself, because in the diary, most of things are there. You write what is the expenses, what you have made that week, what is the income, what you have got that week. So that's all what is required, because once in few months, at least 2-3 months, you go through that and make accountable for each penny what you have spent. Make sure that you know everything about it. And very one more important, if you can do budgeting beforehand, that is very, very good. And frequency of communication. Communication is very, very important. It should be between you and the supervisor, because he is the implementing person. At least 2 phone calls to him to ask him what is happening, what he is doing, what the work is going on, so that he is alert. And what I am doing is every day morning before 10 o'clock, he has to send me a WhatsApp. How many male workers are there and how many female workers are there, so that you can keep a check. One of the surprising visits when you make at 12 o'clock or in the evening, you can check what he has sent in the WhatsApp is correct or not, so that he doesn't cheat you. And first 7 years, as I said, you have to sweat it out. There is no shortcuts. You have to go through that. But dear friends, I really mean you enjoy it. This is the best part of the farming. You be professional, have loads of patience, and planned hard work. And your physical presence is very, very, very important. Okay, let us come back now to the whatever we have planned of multi-crop crops and gross expenses and incomes. All these, as I said again, relates to around 10 acres of land. On the first year, you will be spending around 40,000 rupees per acre for fencing. This is a one-time job. That's around 4 lakhs. And land preparations, 20,000 rupees per acre. That's around 2 lakhs. And electricity board and irrigation pump sets, that's also one time. That's 1 lakh. And sprinklers, if you are going, that's the best I would feel. It's easy to maintain. That's around 4 lakhs. That's also one time. If you are going for drip irrigation, that's around 2 lakhs for 10 acres. And first year short-term crops, all the, including the pits, plants, fertilizers, it will be around 1.5 lakhs. And labor, normally what we require for 10 acres is 2 male workers and 2 female workers. That's around 4 lakhs. And salary for the supervisor is around 1.5 lakhs per year. So totally you'll be spending around 18 lakhs on the first year. And the revenue in the first year is around 30,000 rupees an acre. That's only through banana or papaya. That's around 3 lakhs. Second year as well, it's almost the same. Here, the total expenses on the second year will be around 10.5 lakhs because the fencing is not there, motors are not there, irrigation are fixed. So it's around 10.5. Again, the income remains the same. Third year comes down again to around 8 lakhs. So again, the income remains the same. From fourth year, the whole cropping pattern changes. So you'll be removing all the bananas or papayas. You'll be including vanilla, coffee, and pepper. So initially, I have written as 9.3. It's around 10.5 lakhs. And from next year onwards, till the end of 8th year, it's around 9.5 lakhs per year will be the average expenses, including miscellaneous. That's fertilizers, labor, and supervisors' salaries. But all these 4 years, the income is zero. So this you will have to keep it in mind because this have to be compensated through your other profession, that's your primary profession, or through your agricultural development loans. Actually, your income generation starts from the 8th year. That's around 1.5 lakhs an acre. That's around 15 lakhs on 8th year. Definitely believe me, from 9th year, it will shoot up to 4 to 5 lakhs an acre. Depends on how aggressively you have done it. It's around 40 to 50 lakhs. Here on, even your frequency of visits can be reduced slowly. Only on weekends you can go because you will be well versed with the management and nothing great deal to do every day. You can manage it through the supervisor, but weekends you would have to visit. And again, payments have to be made by yourself. So all the crops what we have planned have started yielding to its full potential, and net income will be around 40 to 50 lakhs per 10 acres. And one surprising thing here is after 15 years, once in 15 years, the agar wood what you have grown, that is ready for cutting. So from that you would get, apart from your regular income, 7 to 8 lakhs, that's 80 lakhs per year. That's per 15 years, once in 15 years, that particularly you'll get after 15 years. So let us discuss few benefits, which few I have already told. It's the income tax benefits. It's all the income what you get from this is 100% income tax free. And you have the benefit of free power supply except the plantation crops, coffee, tea, rubber. You have for all the other agricultural farming, this thing, you have the free power supply. And again, I'm stressing you that this is the best insurance what you can have. Everything is ready. Only your family members have to run it. And even after your retirement, probably this is the best retirement plan because you are not idle. At the same time, you are not working. You are generating the passive income. Couple of very important, normally many people do these mistakes. Very important ones are, don't build very expensive farmhouses. These things, farmhouses, you can build from your income from the farm itself. From the 9th year onwards, probably you can think of farmhouses. Till then, you have to be very, very judicious in spending. Second thing is, be very, very professional. How you take your primary profession, very similarly, you'll have to take it. Don't take your friends around and partying every day. definitely that will give a very, very negative atmosphere to the workers and supervisors. They also start taking it very lightly. So we very professional in the farm. Okay, dear friends, it's nearly half an hour. So next session begins in another 5 to 10 minutes. Have a tea break and please link it to the second link what we have shared. Please change the link. Please change it to the second link what we have shared. Okay, let me also have a coffee. Thank you.